I'm going to be making one more instructional video here, and what we're going to be covering here is two things. We're going to be adding an additional profile, and I'm going to show you how to use the restart button. Now, you'll notice something different immediately. When I started this app, we're already on day 94 here, and you're not seeing the buttons that you saw in the other instructional videos below. Remember, in all the other instructional videos, there was a next day button. And I told you at the time that the reason you saw that next day button was because I was using a demo version, but that your version would not have that next day button. So this version right here looks exactly like the version you're going to be using. This is the Android version that I'm operating right here, but it doesn't have that next day button. And the reason is because this is a real live version that I downloaded from the Google Play Store. So we can take a look at it right here. That date right there, September the 11th, it actually represents 3 months into the future. Right now, it's the first week of June of 2018 as I'm recording this, but I skipped my calendar ahead in time. Basically, I was doing some debugging on the app, but I needed a live version to do this kind of debugging that I wanted to. And so that's why the calendar is 3 months into the future here. But it's going to be useful to show you two things that I wanted to cover. Now, the first thing that I mentioned is remember in one of the first videos, I showed you how to add your additional profiles. And as you see on the menu here, it says alter profiles. Okay. Now, as I said, as I'm recording this, it's currently June of 2018. We're releasing the app Android version to the general public right now. The Apple version will be following shortly after. In all honesty, right here, I've been working on this app for a long time because the debugging just takes forever on any app, but especially on something as complex as this because of all the mathematics and the fact that we let you move the dates around. Your eventual date changes, and that changes the math every time you move the target date in the future around. So basically, it's just taken a long time of debugging, and debugging is very costly and expensive and time-consuming and frustrating. So why do I point all of this out? Well, because as I said, right now it's June 2018. So if you're downloading this app in June or maybe July 2018, you're going to be using one of the very first versions of this app released to the general public, and I'd say it's like 99.98% debugged, and I've tried to make it as perfect as I can, especially in all the areas that I know people are 100% going to be needing to use for sure. But, you know, like everything in life, there's always room for improvement, right? So I know that when we release the Apple version later in autumn of this year, 2018, that the Apple version is going to be even better than this version, this very first version. And then we're going to be releasing another version of the Android version after that. And that will be an even better version. So there's tiny little things in here that you're probably never going to see, but that I want to clean up on future versions. So one of the things I'm going to point out right here is there's these three buttons, okay? Alter profiles, alter target date and weight, and sleep time, okay? You're free to press these buttons. It's not going to do anything bad, okay? There's our profiles. There's alter target date and weight, okay? And here's sleep time right here. Now, you can press them, but if you're using one of the very first versions of this app, like if this is currently July 2018, I highly recommend that you don't change these numbers because unexpected things could occur, okay? If you need to make a change, you should be using the restart button down here at the bottom, okay? Rather than trying to change things after you start the diet. It's okay to change anything before you start the diet, but after you've started the diet, you know, and if you're on day 20 or 50 or 80 or day 104, you should be using the restart diet button, and I'm going to demonstrate that next. But in the future versions, I'm going to have everything fixed perfectly so that you can, like in the middle of the diet, you're going to be able to change your target weight. Let's say you wanted to change that number to 175 once you're 100 days into the diet, but you also want to change the date in the future. And everything is going to be able, you're going to be able to change everything on the fly, and it's going to recalculate perfectly. But at this point in time, June 2018, it's just the math is just too complex. I want to get this thing out on the market so people can start losing weight, because actually people are pressuring me. People that know about this app say, when is it coming? When is it coming? When is it coming? So I want to get it on the market, and then we're going to clean up all of those little things in the future, okay? But if you ever get stuck, just use that restart diet button right down there. So even though I'm not going to be able to add the profile right now because of a tiny little bug that I know about, I'm going to demonstrate for you what it would look like on the Apple version that's coming and the future debugged Android version, okay? And right now, June 2018, if you wanted to add that additional profile, what you would do is you'd do it through the restart button. But in the future, you know, by the end of this year, you're going to be able to add that profile without having to use the restart button. And the way that it would look is this, okay? This will look familiar to you. Base weight, summer profile, winter profile, work profile. Let's say we wanted to add that fifth profile. So we would say alter profiles, okay? And we would be in this mode right here, and then we'd press the little pink button down here with the plus symbol. So plus. Now, we're going to name it right here, okay? So this is profile number 5. So for this one, what was the thing? I was going to call this, you know, we have a summer and we have a winter. So let's create fall, spring, okay? Now, our clothing description is going to be, we're going to put jeans on here just like in the winter profile, but our winter profile has a sweater, which is, you know, could be kind of heavy. In this one, we're going to have a t-shirt. Oops, misspelled it. T-shirt. Okay, and we've got our socks. So this one is sort of halfway between the winter and the spring. We've got the jeans, the way the winter profile has, but we have the t-shirt, the way the summer profile has. And then we have our socks, okay? So now notice the 2 lines below. Usually you only had to put in 1 weight, but now you have to put in 2 weights. And the reason for this is before you start the diet, what we're doing is we're calculating the weight of your clothing in each profile. And before you started the diet, we created those 4 initial profiles all at once. So when you created profiles number 2 and 3 and 4, it already knew your base weight because you had just done it at the same time you created those profiles. But now you're 90 days into this diet, you've already lost some weight, okay? So let's see here. What is our weight while wearing clothing? Okay, I believe, sorry. I'm going to have to cancel that briefly. Okay, if you look at today's directions, see how our base weight should be 258.6? So if we're on the pace for this diet, and we started this at, you know, 265.4 as our base weight, and now 94 on day 94, we should be getting down to about 258.6, okay? So let's just keep that in mind, and I'm going to have to redo that here. Fall, spring, okay? And then we've got jeans, t-shirt, so our weight should be approaching about 258.6, okay? So that's going to be in the second line right there, weight while wearing undergarments. So let's say our weight without wearing our weight down here, weight wearing only undergarments, let's say that's going to be 260 because we're trying to get to 258.6 approximately. So let's say our weight while wearing this, okay, is going to add, let's say our weight here is 262.6, okay? We weigh ourselves in the jeans, the t-shirt, and the socks, and it's 262.6. And our weight wearing only undergarments, we also have to enter this at the exact same time, is 260.0. It's less than the 265.4 we started the diet at, but it's slightly more than the current base target goal for day 94, like it was shown. So I'm going to press save, but watch what happens, okay? See, there's a tiny little bug in here. This profile weight cannot be less. And that is a little bug that hasn't been taken care of yet, but it's going to be taken care of on the Apple version, and it's going to be taken care of on future versions. And you might say, well, why don't you just fix it? Well, every time we find a bug, it takes another month, it seems, to debug. I've literally been debugging this thing for a year. It's such a minor issue right now. I want to get this thing on the market. That's going to be taken care of in the future, okay? So, as I said, if you're downloading this in June or July of 2018 and you've already started the diet and you try to add an additional profile, you're going to see that error message. I'm going to take care of it on the Apple version. I'm going to take care of it on future versions for Android, and you won't have that problem. But that is how you would do it, okay? So I'm just going to cancel this. So if you are using one of the earliest versions of this and you can't add the profile using that, you can add it using the restart button over there, and that's what we're going to be dealing with next. Now I want to show you what it looks like to use the restart diet button. This is a really useful function that you may find yourself wanting to use. What it will do is it will take the app back to the point in time, completely blank slate, as if you had just downloaded it from either the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. So it's going to blank everything out and you can restart everything, okay? Now, why would a person want to use the restart diet button? Well, I think one of the reasons somebody might want to use it is, okay, let's just take this for example. We're on day 94. We're supposed to be at 258.6 pounds, starting from 265. So the pace being set here says we should be down about 7 pounds. And, for whatever reason, perhaps you're feeling that, it's getting away from you. The weight is going down faster on the phone than you can lose the weight, okay? For whatever reason. Maybe you've pressed the cheat button too many times. Maybe you went away on holidays for 2 weeks and ate, yourself silly on a cruise like I did and gained 10 pounds. And, for whatever reason, if you feel that the point that you're at where your weight is not corresponding to the weights being displayed on the phone, it's really easy just to say, I'm just going to press that restart diet button and we're going to get a fresh start and we'll just take it from there, no big deal. So the other reason you might want to use the restart diet button is perhaps you messed something up. Maybe you were playing around in the settings and it caused some kind of bug. I think one of the ways is if you moved the calendar backwards on your phone while the app was open, that would probably mess up the app. I don't know why you would want to do that, but I think if you move the calendar backwards, because this whole app is driven by the calendar. So if you started manually moving the calendar date back to a point in time before you even installed the app, that may screw up the app. I don't know. There's all kinds of things that, Another thing is if you cross the international date line and you use the phone, I have no idea how that might affect the phone, okay? That might mess up the program because this thing is built to operate on a regular basis, on a daily basis. And if you're crossing the international date line and using this app, I don't know, something could go wrong. So you know, if you just find yourself in a situation where it's just simpler to press the restart diet button, then use it. That's what it's there for. Now, there's only one little problem with the restart diet button, and that is on the very first version. Remember, we're June 2018. Ignore that date up there, September 11th, 2018. The way it's programmed right now, you have to have subscribed to the service to operate the restart diet button, okay? If you try to press the restart diet button within the first 20 days, it's not going to let you do it, okay? I'm going to fix that on the Apple version and on the future updated versions for Android. So, if you find yourself in a situation and you've got one of the first versions and you're only on day 10 and you want to press restart diet, I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait until you get to day 21 basically, and then subscribe to the app, and then you'll be able to use the restart diet button. No problem, okay? So I'm going to press this restart diet button right here. Watch what happens. Okay, so you get the warning message because this will wipe out all of your data. If you've accidentally pressed this button, you need to press cancel because it will wipe out all of your data, okay? So it's giving you the warning and asking you to confirm, are you sure? So I'm going to press yes, I am sure. So now I get another message after that. This is normal, okay? It says, keep profiles. All existing data is being erased. Do you want to keep your existing profiles that you previously created so you don't have to create them again? Now, what this is asking is, do you want the app to wipe out all of your data to get a fresh start, but we will keep your existing profiles so that you don't have to spend the time to recreate them again, because remember, we created 4 profiles already, okay? So with that being said, that would be a time saver for most people. So most people, not all people, but most would want to choose yes, keep my profiles. Watch what happens. I'm going to press yes, and we'll see what happens here, okay? It says profiles will be kept. Please reset your sleep time and reset your target date and weight. So I'm going to press OK. Now, it immediately goes into this re-enter base weight here. And the reason it's doing this is because when you started using the app for the first time, we said our base weight was 265.4, and all of the other profiles 2, 3, and 4 were calculated off of that base weight. However, we've now used this app for 90 days, so our base weight is not going to be 265.4 when we're restarting the diet. It could be more than might be 270 pounds, or it could be slightly less. Okay, so in this situation, let's say that our base weight is exactly 260 pounds, 260.0. Okay, so we're going to press the check mark here. And then I'm going to press save. So watch what happens here. Now, I'm going to go back to the profiles and I'm going to alter profile here. See how this has changed? Before we pressed restart diet, our base weight was 265.4. It's now been changed to 260.0 to reflect our base weight after we pressed restart diet. And you want to only press that restart diet button and enter that new base weight when you're ready to restart the diet. You have to be starting the diet and not eating on the day you press that restart diet button and enter that new base weight. But you see how all 3 profiles here, summer, winter, and work, they're still there. You don't have to go through the effort of redoing those profiles 2, 3, and 4 because they've been saved, and they still add the correct amount of weight to reflect the weight of the clothing. Now, I'm going to try and add that 5th profile. Remember before we tried to add that 5th profile and it wouldn't let us, but I'm going to try to add it right now, okay? So I'm going to try to add the fall spring profile, and it is jeans, t-shirt, socks. Now, there's only one line here. And remember last time there was 2 lines when we tried to add this. And the reason we're back to 1 line, which is the normal, is because we haven't started the diet yet. The app knows your base weight is 260.0 because you just entered that data. So I'm going to say my weight here is 262.6, okay? And I just told it that my base weight was 260 pounds. So I'm going to save, and there it is. Look at that. We've added the 5th profile. So as I said before, if you can't add the 5th profile because that little bug is still there in the app because you're using one of the earliest versions of the app, okay, that's how you add the 5th profile. You press the Restart Diet button, and before you start the diet again, you add that 5th. That's your opportunity to add that 5th profile. You see how it has calculated fall spring adds 2.6 pounds, and it's calculated that off of the new base weight that we entered of 260.0. So now I'm going to go back, and if I press today's daily directions, now it's going to ask me, I still have to reset these 2 things because those 2 things were wiped out completely when we pressed the Restart Diet button. So I have to set my sleep time. I'm going to set it back to 4 a.m. Okay, 4 a.m. set. Yes. And now I need to set my target weight and date again. So that date there, as I said, the current date is June. I'm in June of 2018. It doesn't really matter though. The reason it says September is because I was previously testing the app and I was moving the calendar ahead for testing purposes, but that doesn't really matter here for what I need to demonstrate, okay? So remember how in the first example, our weight target was 185 pounds and we were gonna put it 3 years into the future. This is an opportunity to change anything we want. It doesn't have to be 185 again. It can be, but it can be any number, okay? If we want to make this 180, then that's fine. We can make that 180, all right? So previously, we set a goal of 3 years into the future. Now, using the example here, that would mean I would set September the 11th, 2021, okay? If I pressed 2021 like that, that would be a 3-year target, just like before. Well, let's say I want to be more optimistic this time, and this time I'm going to be, earlier. Let's say I want a 2.5-year calendar. So I'm going to say March 11th, okay? So this is approximately 2.5 years now. I'm giving myself 2.5 years to get down to my target weight. And remember, if you find yourself that you've fallen off the pace, you can easily use that Restart Diet button, okay? And so don't worry too much about, the target weight and date in the future, years in the future. If you find that you're falling behind, you can always use that Restart Diet button. The important thing is to make progress, and if you fall too far behind, just use that Restart Diet button. So I'm going to set this right here, press set, and now it's covering 912 days, which is about 2.5 years. So I'm going to say yes, and now it tells me that I'm ready to start my diet. So as I said before, you should, and I'm going to show you right here, okay? See how it says home there? That does not say Restart Diet until we press that Start Diet button, okay? So once you press Restart Diet, you have to get it back to the stage where you're starting the diet for that Restart Diet button to reappear, okay? I'm going to press the Start Diet button here. Watch what happens. So it's using the new current base weight of 260.0, the new target weight that we entered of 180.0 pounds, and the days covered are 912 days, and I'm going to press yes, and we'll restart the diet. We'll start the diet. This phone that I'm using here takes a little bit longer. It's probably going to be faster on your phone if you've got a newer phone. This particular phone that I'm using is just a phone I was using for testing demo purposes. So that's why it's a little bit slower than a brand new phone. But here we are. We're back at day one. As I said, it's reflecting the date that I entered on my calendar because I was previously testing into the future. But today's date is in June, so if my calendar was properly set, that would say June of 2018. And watch, see, right here, the Restart Diet button has reappeared. So everything is back to normal, and that's how you do it, okay? So when you see yourself falling behind the pace, okay, and you want to press Restart Diet, or you've just run into some other problem, you've crossed the international date line and it's created some kind of unanticipated bug because the date moved backwards in time on the app, that could have an unforeseen consequence. Just use the Restart Diet button. It's pretty easy. You saw how fast we did it, and I was explaining it as we went. So it's no big deal, you know, just press that Restart Diet button. So I want to show you one more thing. Let's press the Restart Diet button one more time here, and I'm going to show you something else, okay? Remember this message, warning, it's going to erase your data. Now, I'm going to press yes, just like we did last time. So this is how I would, let's say we did something wrong when we restarted the diet and we immediately wanted to restart it again. Well, that's possible. You can restart it twice on the same day, no problem, okay? Here we are back at the Keep Profiles section. Last time we pressed yes because I wanted to show you how you could keep your profiles and save yourself a lot of time so that you didn't have to reweigh yourself in all of your clothing combinations. This time I'm going to press no. Watch what happens. Okay, and now you see we didn't get prompted to enter our base weight immediately upon pressing that button. We're back to where we were when you first downloaded the app. So when you had a fresh download from either the Play Store or the App Store, this is exactly what it looked like, okay? There's no data. Everything's basically set to 0 on this thing right now. So if you want a completely fresh start, that's what you would do. You'd press the start diet button and press no, do not keep my profiles. Now we have to reset everything, okay? Watch. So if I press set profiles here, see, we have 0 profiles. We don't even have a base profile set, okay? Same thing with sleep time here is at 12 a.m. and set target date and weight. There's nothing entered. It's completely zeroed out. So it's all up to you, you know? I mean, why would you use this? Well, you know, if you wanted to restart the diet and you didn't want to keep those profiles, they were not adequate anymore. The ones we created, summer profile, winter profile, work profile. If you feel those were not relevant to where you were in your life right now and you wanted to create completely new profiles from scratch, well, that's how you would do it. You press the Restart Diet button and you just start fresh, you start over. Or maybe you're the kind of person that just likes to do everything brand new, fresh, from scratch, starting over from the beginning. So, and that's how you would do it. So basically, I mean, now we're back to square one and you have to restart. You have to put everything in again. You're going to have to set at least one profile, which is your base profile, but you know, you may create 2, 3, 4, or even 5 profiles. And then after that, you have to set your sleep time. And then after that, you select your target weight. Now, here you can also change again for, not here, but over here. In this section, you would be allowed to change from kilograms to pounds or pounds to kilograms. So maybe you're the kind of person that moves around the world and you spend 6 months in Europe and 6 months in the United States. And when you're in the United States, you're using pounds. And when you're in Europe, you're using kilograms. Well, if you're that kind of person, then you'd press Restart Diet and you'd start over from scratch and you could change your unit of measurement, okay? So that's a very unique situation, obviously, but you can do it, okay? I've tried to build this app with maximum flexibility for people from all walks of life. So I hope that these instructional videos have been informative. I've put a lot of thought and time into them, and I've tried to be as real and down to earth, as I can, and realistic with them. But I hope you enjoyed the videos. Please spread the word about MicroTargetDiet to your family, your friends, social media, because we really need to get the word out there. I don't have any advertising budget for this, so I'm counting on you guys out there to spread the word for me. I've tried to create a good product that everybody can enjoy and benefit from and lose weight. So please share it as much as you can on social media, and just tell everybody and tell them to tell their friends, because that's the only way. And that's going to allow me to create better and better versions. Okay, the more we spread the word, it's going to allow me to see the enthusiasm that people have. And when I see hundreds or even thousands of people that are really into the product, that's just going to encourage me to want to go out and create even better and better products and spend more and more money of my budget creating that product for you guys. So please spread the word as much as you can, and thank you for all your support.